We're looking live at the Tower of the Americas in downtown San Antonio. A beautiful night for football outside and especially inside the Alamo Dome, where it's a comfy 72 degrees. This is the CityWide Sports Network college football telecast on the CW in San Antonio, Dallas, and Houston. Tonight, it's UTSA hosting the Rice Owls in a Conference USA showdown. Good evening, everybody. I'm Don Harris along with Chuck McIntyre. Aaron Carino will join us in a minute down on the sidelines. But Chuck, two teams looking for a win in Conference USA, looking to get back on track. UTSA, one of those teams, started off 3-0. Lost their last two. Rice also needs a win.
Well, Rice, 1-5, but don't be deceived. They've been a little banged up, and one of only two teams in the nation that played all four of their non-conference games against teams that played in bowl games a year ago. So the schedule has not been too kind to them, but yeah, both of these teams could really use it. Win today here in Conference USA.
And Rice is healthy. They're getting a number of guys back, including their quarterback, Sam Glazman.
Yeah, he's been a little bit slowed by a left shoulder injury, but this kid, that redshirt year was huge for him in terms of learning this offense. They really rely on him. He's super athletic. His brother's been drafted by a Major League Baseball team. Tells you what kind of bloodlines he has. This guy knows the offense, and Rice is darn glad to get this guy back today. And, of course, the one guy he's going to have one eye peeled on all day long is 93, Marcus Davenport. This guy, as good as he's been all year for UTSA and its defense, 2.5 sacks a week ago, 4 tackles for a loss. This guy's playing at an NFL-style play of caliber right now. Just an absolute beast on that side of the ball.
It's homecoming for UTSA at the Alamo Dome. They're hosting the Rice Owls, and we'll have the call when we come back. Welcome back. Tonight's pregame show brought to you by Gun Automotive Group, where buying your next vehicle is real simple. Just go to gunauto.com. Gun also bringing us tonight's keys to victory. Chuck, we start with Rice.
Oh, Don, they've been banged up all year. Quarterback, running back, offensive line. Some of those guys are going to be back tonight, but obviously they want to stay as healthy as humanly possible. Might affect the results in a positive way for a change for Rice. And then secondly, they want to protect the football as well. That was a big problem in the Army game. And then for UTSA, limit the explosive plays. It's burned them the last 2 times out. They want to be very good at limiting the big plays from the other team. And then also, make sure you're scoring touchdowns. Do not settle for field goals.
Tonight's Game Time Conditions brought to you by John Wayne Service Company. When you need heating, cooling, plumbing, or electrical, just make one call to fix it all at 210-293-6700. Let's go down to the sidelines and Aaron Carino. Aaron?
It is a cool 70 degrees here at the Alamo Dome, but it is heating up outside and on the sideline as well. UTSA is eager to get their first conference win today under their belt. Frank Wilson says that the team held their own players-only meeting in hopes to get their spirits up and turn things around. On the other side, David Bailiff for Rice says, although they are 1-5 coming into this game, they are 1-1 in the conference, so don't be fooled by their record. Big game for both of these teams with a lot at stake.
It's UTSA and Rice when we come back. We're back in the Alamo Dome. San Antonio's own David Bailiff returning home in his 11th season at Rice. You see his record at 57-74. Longtime San Antonio native, graduate of MacArthur High School, and he's always glad to be coming back to play in San Antonio. Of course, he's going up against a guy he admires a lot, Frank Wilson, only in his second year at UTSA. His record right at 500. But everybody in Conference USA very impressed with the job that he's doing, both on the recruiting trail and turning this program around.
Yeah, Don, and with all apologies to these fine institutions, both UTSA and Rice, this is like geography class. These two schools, these two programs recruit the same kind of kids, the same kind of athletes, and this is a huge ball game for a lot of reasons. You got players on both teams that played together in high school, went to the same camps together. Let's get it on.
Jack Fox to kick off. Brett Wenigan back for the Roadrunners, and he's going to decide to bring it out. Wenigan's tripped up right at the 15-yard line, a 16-yard return. As Ryan Womack got in there to bring him down, and we'll get our first look at Dalton Sturm and this UTSA offense. Sturm, one of the most efficient quarterbacks in the entire country, ranked 10th in America in passing efficiency. And the Roadrunners also led by, of course, Jalen Rhodes, the two hooked up for what looked like the game winner at North Texas last week with about 3 minutes to play. And then, of course, the Mean Green had that fantastic finish. UTSA 2-3 all-time while wearing all orange. It's a new look for them this year. As Sturm fires on first down. He's got it completed to Brady Jones for about a 6-yard gain. Tonight's starting lineups presented by MCCI Medical Group, keeping you healthy. As you see the starting lineups, Austin Pratt leads the way on that offensive line. Good to see Reed Dara back after being out with injury. Jalen Rhodes, the tailback. Play action to him. Sturm wants to go deep. Instead, fires across the middle. It's caught by Josh Stewart. He's near midfield, all the way down to the 43-yard line.
Well, UTSA's been banged up in and of itself, especially along the offensive line, but you're not going to see a better throwing lane if you're the quarterback, Dalton Sturm. All day to throw, steps up nicely, finds big Josh there for a nice pitch and catch, and an early first down.
Here's Rhodes for the first time today. Gets back to the line of scrimmage, and he's pushed back. Good defensive front and pursuit there by the Rice Owls. Shea Baker on the tackle, and we've got a Roadrunner down. And that looks like it's going to be Jordan Wright, who of course has been playing most of the season at center after UTSA lost Juan Isidro Perez earlier. So as you said, Chuck, this is a offensive line that has been besieged by injuries all season long.
Yeah, a couple of guys out for the year. They've had to juggle, move some guys around, and you know, quite honestly, they've done a really nice job mixing and matching to this point. But you know, at some point, you are going to run into a numbers game.
Second down and about 8 for Sturm. Setz wants to fire quickly and tried to hit Stewart on a slant. Good coverage there by Rice's Justin Bickham.
Yeah, Bickham from Pflugerville doing a really nice job closing on that ball and basically beating Josh Stewart to the ball. Had double coverage over there, and Bickham was playing over the top. And so UTSA is facing a 3rd and long here.
CSN's first half scoreboard sponsored by John Wayne Service Company. When you need heating, cooling, plumbing, or electrical, just call one call to fix it all, 293-6700. 3rd down and 8 for Sturm as Marquez McNair comes in motions and resets on the right side. Plenty of time to throw, unloads to Stewart. Stewart's going to get the first down, lunges forward. Ball came out, but it was after he was called down there, and it's good enough for a first down. Bickham in on the tackle.
It's a nice play design there. UTSA doing some crossing stuff with their receivers, and again, the guys up front doing their part, allowing the receivers to come free eventually across the field. Stewart lunging and picking up the sticks.
Greg Campbell Jr., now UTSA's leading receiver, checks in. He's on the right side. Halen Stewart to block as the fullback. It's a handoff to Rhodes. Rhodes picks up about 4 on the left side of that offensive line.
And early on, we're seeing what this UTSA offense is all about. Ball control, long drives. They've done it all this year. Time of possession. I mean, one of the leading teams in the nation in terms of possessing the football. This is what they do. It beats you a lot of different ways. Of course, Jalen Rhodes, their star running back, that was his first carry, but they've come out chucking and ducking early in this one.
Another play action, Sturm rolling, pursued from behind, gets rid of it late, throws it out of bounds, incomplete. Good pursuit there by Rice's Brian Womack.
Yeah, Brian Womack, we already saw him make a special teams play, but this is a young man that we're going to be calling his number an awful lot tonight. Just superstar. I mean, look at just what he's done already this season. Just a spectacular player, unbelievable motor, got good size and speed, and clearly the leader of this Rice defense.
Got a couple of good ones on the defensive side, including Emmanuel Ellerby. All-conference pick. Trips to the right side, 3rd down again. Sturm wants to run, fires to McNair. McNair lunging for that marker, and I do believe he's got a first down. It's close, but I think he got it by about a half yard.
Just another nice play design there by UTSA, and picking up the sticks once again. McNair doing a really nice job kind of getting position on the DB. Dalton dancing a little bit with his feet to extend the play, and McNair doing a nice job coming back for the football.
Devin Rothrock in at fullback. It's a 2 fullback set. Fake to Rhodes. Sturm's got some room. If he can beat his man, and he does, down to the 30, across down to the 25-yard line. JT Ivey finally brings him down, but not before an 11-yard gain and another first down by the Roadrunners.
Rice has got a man down too, but Dalton Sturm doing an amazing job here all by himself. He dekes the defender right there, and then just speed to burn. I don't know if Dalton gets enough credit for how quick he is with those feet, but you see it on a play like that, able to slip past the initial guy and then beat another guy on his way towards a first down marker.
Dylan James was out there in space with him. This is the 10th play of this drive.
Good to see Preston Gordon walk off. A little dinged on that play.
First down and 10. Danon Cavill checks in at wide receiver on the right-hand side. Stern's going to hand to Rhodes. Rhodes has nowhere to go. The ball's out. Rice thinks they've got it, and they do. The Rice Owls causing a turnover on UTSA's first drive.
Yeah, just what you can't have if you're UTSA. You're going right down the field, you're marching, and the Rice defense bends but doesn't break.
Emmanuel Ellerby, he's one of the best in all of Conference USA. He jumped on it, and the Rice Owls have the football when we come back. Welcome back. Hey, the first quarter of tonight's CSN football telecast brought to you by the Alcivar Shrine Circus. Tickets are available at Ticketmaster.com. Roe Wilkins, number 95, caused the fumble on Jalen Rhodes, and Ellerby, who was the preseason pick by the coaches in this conference to be the defensive player of the year, is on top of it. So we're getting our first look at Sam Glazman, who's missed 3 games this year. He turns and hands off, and there's a good 8 yards or so for Austin Walter. Check that, is Jordan Myers. Picks up about 6.
And you see Glazman's numbers on the year, again, against some pretty stiff competition. These guys are playing a murderer's row non-conference schedule, and you know, Glazman getting his first chance to play quarterback, and you know, he's kind of been a baptism by fire here.
He's got second down and about 5. Sam Stewart in the backfield with him. 1 to get it off, they do. And that's one way to have a ball control offense, is to milk the clock all the way down to nothing, as Stewart picks up the first down. Tonight's starting lineups presented by MCCI Medical Group, keeping you healthy. Glazman from Waco, redshirt freshman. Stewart and Walter will get, or excuse me, yeah, will get most of the carries. Austin Walter listed as a wide receiver there, but they love to run him a lot. Handoff. Straight ahead for about 5 more. That's Jordan Myers. Myers only has 123 yards on the season, only carried it 21 times on the year.
Yeah, they're going to probably do some things and give you some different looks too. Again, they're trying to protect some guys that are a little banged up. This team is young, and it's had to deal with some injuries too. So, you know, a lot of that will mess with your continuity week in and week out when you're having to battle through some stuff like that.
Send Walter and Aaron Cephas to the near side. Cephas, the favorite target of Glazman. He turns and hands off inside. Good pursuit by the UTSA defense. Lakel Bass all over that one.
Yeah, it seems like whenever you need a big play defensively or things aren't going your way early, you know, Rice goes down and pounds the ball on you the first few plays. Lakel Bass is one of those guys, more often than not, you're going to be calling his number 2 or 3 times a game, just having a fantastic year. We talked about this a little bit last week about what kind of player this guy, you know, he's a former walk-on, worked his way into the rotation, and week in and week out gives UTSA a really good chance to win with how he brings it defensively.
UTSA showing blitz. They drop the linebackers. They fire to the near side. It's caught, and good for the first down is Robbie Wells III. Good pickup by Glazeman pre-snap and found his open receiver.
Yeah, Wells just finding a really soft spot in the zone, kind of settled in and was able to beat 2 defenders to the sticks and get Rice a fresh set. Nice play design there.
Glaring omission on that UTSA defense is Josiah Tawa-Efa. We'll keep an eye on that here on first down. Glazeman's got a, oh, it came out of his hand. It's loose. Watch out, Marcus Davenport is going to take it to the house. Touchdown, Roadrunners. 22 yards on the return. Glazeman had a wide open back right out of the backfield, but the ball went backwards out of his hand. He was looking for Jordan Myers, and Marcus Davenport, who we've been singing his praises all season long, was on top of it.
Don, this is essentially a 14-point swing right here. If Glazeman gets this ball away, this is going to be a touchdown for Rice, because it was an absolute bust on the back end for UTSA, and it just worked out unbelievably for UTSA, who picks up the touchdown here on defense. What a turn of events.
Jared Sackett's extra point makes it 7-0 UTSA. Rice will get it back when we come back to the Alamodome. Welcome back to the Alamodome. Chuck, here's the angle where you can see just how wide open Myers was.
Well, it's one of those things where, honestly, things could not have gone worse for both teams. But UTSA is coming out smelling like a rose on this. An unforced error, and, you know, when you work as hard week in and week out as Marcus Davenport does, every now and then you're going to get a gift, and deservedly so. I mean, this guy has been an absolute beast every single week. And then, you know, last week, just when you didn't think he could be any better, to have 2.5 sacks, 4 tackles for a loss. And then, you know, this game eerily reminiscent of the Texas State game where UTSA comes out and gets a defensive touchdown to get the scoreboard working.
I think right now he's the front runner for the Conference USA Defensive Player of the Year. As Nashawn Ellerby and Austin Trammell back there, it's Ellerby who's bringing it out. He's got some space. Watch out. Ellerby across the 30 all the way down to the 35-yard line before C.J. Levine brings him out of bounds.
So, yeah, you're UTSA and you turn the ball over early. It's a little bit of a rally killer because you're going right down the field, but then your defense picks you right back up, gets you on the scoreboard too. So we'll see where these two teams go from here. But obviously, you know, Rice was hoping for a little quicker start than that, and that's obviously a throw that Glazeman would love to have back, because worst case scenario, that screenplay is completed. That thing's going for 30 or 40 yards downfield.
You said he'd have to keep an eye on 93, and it's a little intimidating with him breathing down your neck.
Yeah, amen.
All right, first down, Glazeman. Inside handoff, Jordan Myers. Good gain all the way down to the 40-yard line. Picks up about 6.
Yeah, good tough running between the tackles right there by Jordan Myers. I mean, it looked like he got drilled 2 or 3 times and ends up falling forward for a good 6 yards on that play.
Marcus Curry on the tackle. Rice doing a pretty cool little thing as they break the huddle. Inside handoff to Sam Stewart, the leading rusher. He's got 207 yards on the year on 44 carries as we go down to the sidelines and Aaron Carreno.
Just a quick update on Josiah Tawa-Efa, UTSA number 55. No word if he's questionable in or out, but he is getting wrapped up with an ice pack on his left knee. Not sure if he's in, out, or you know, safe, but he is wrapped up on the sideline in tears with an ice pack on his left knee. Back to you guys.
Yeah, just by looking at him from my view on the sidelines, Josiah may be done for the day as Glazeman one-on-one goes deep for his intended receiver, Aaron Cephas. That's incomplete. And Austin Jupy on the coverage, but UTSA's got some problems on their hands because 55, you do not want to lose him for any extended periods of time. And Josiah Tawa-Efa does not look right now like he's going to play football today.
Going back to the previous play, an outstanding job by Jupy running stride for stride with the receiver. The ball was just underthrown too, probably a good thing.
2nd and 10, Glazeman got Jupy out there, brings him down, along with a couple other Roadrunners. Eric Banks in on that one. And we've got another Roadrunner down. I believe it's Austin Jupy. And he may have been hit by one of his own guys. That was a big-time collision by 3 Roadrunners and Glazeman.
Yeah, he was holding his shoulder or his collarbone, went down low to make a tackle, and took the brunt of it at the end.
Yeah, can't really see what happens there, but you can see he's already in pain there, holding a groin or a hamstring. So another 3rd down conversion opportunity for Rice. UTSA faithful making lots of noise here in the Alamo Dome. They want to stop. Cephas splits out to the far right side. Stewart back there with Glazeman. And Glazeman wants to throw it. Now he's going to run it. Glazeman slides right at the stick, and he's going to be marked about a yard short. So it'll be 4th and 1 inside UTSA territory, and Rice acting like they want to go and go quick. And they do. Stewart's got it. He's got the 1st down and more across the 45 down to the 44-yard line.
Yeah, good play there by Rice. You know, UTSA's thinking, hey, you're going to go for it? You're just trying to trick us? What are you going to do? And they get to the line of scrimmage, snap it quickly, and we've already seen what kind of a running back Stewart is. This is a tough guy to stop between the tackles if you're all spread out. Huge play for Rice early in this football game, picking up the sticks.
1st and 10, UTSA leading it 7-0 here in the Alamo Dome. Big Conference USA game for both teams. Flag flies as Glazeman looks to throw. Davenport pursuing him, throws incomplete. 2 more flags come down. We've got holding on Rice for sure, and we'll see what the other one was right at the snap. Officials are meeting to talk it over.
We see a little bit of everything on that.
Jay Edwards, our referee today.
Guy coming in motion, then goes back across the other side. Glazeman had a chance to throw that ball and make a completion downfield, just a smidge overthrown.
Both on the offense. Illegal shift. Offense. That penalty will be declined. Holding. Offense. Number 54. That penalty will be accepted. 10 yards. Remains. 1st down.
Yeah, so you had an illegal shift and a hold, and I think he'll take the hold in the 10 yards there.
They'll take the hold, and so they'll back him up. Be 1st down and 20 for the Rice Owls. There's Josiah Tawa-Efa sitting this one out. And we'll find out that play earlier in the game to see where exactly he got hurt. Again, he's got his left knee wrapped as Glazeman takes off on a quarterback keep. He's got some room. He's brought down finally inside the 45. Carl Austin III finally brings him down, but he gets half of it back, a 10-yard gain.
Yeah, we were talking to David Bailiff this week, and he was just praising what kind of toughness UTSA's quarterback has had. And then I'll tell you what, Glazeman, a chip off the old block right there. You're looking at the Dalton Stern bag of tricks. Not one of those guys that likes to slide it per se, and not afraid to take a shot either.
2nd and 10. More manageable now. Glazeman fires. He was drilled as he threw. And that was Marcus Curry blitzing from the middle spot. He's in there for Tawaefa, and he's making an impression. He sure made one right in the middle of the 4 on Glazeman's jersey.
Yeah, that's a tattoo shot. Came free, nobody got him. And you cannot let a defender come up the A-gap unchecked like that. That was an obvious bust on the offensive line for Rice.
By the way, all of these first half instant replays brought to you by Ernest Roofing. At Ernest Roofing, we've got you covered. Call 888-844-896-LEAK. Glazeman hands it to Stewart on 3rd and 10, and he only gets about 3.5. Ball came out at the end, and instead it'll be 4th down and about 7. And you never know with David Bailiff what he's going to do this part of the field, but he sends out the punt team and Jack Fox. Brady Jones will drop to field the punt. He'll stand at his own 10-yard line. What's the old rule, Chuck? Put your heels on the 10. Anything over your head, let it go.
Yep, that it is.
Fox's punt is a high one, and Jones is going to catch it right at the 8-yard line. A 31-yard punt for Rice, and UTSA will have it when we come back. UTSA 7-0. Welcome back to the Alamodome. The San Antonio Chevy dealers bringing UTSA team trivia tonight. As you can see, today is homecoming, the 7th in UTSA history. Who was the opponent in the very first homecoming game back in 2011? Speaking of that first season, Larry Coker in the building for the first time since leaving the program. Watching this one tonight as UTSA hands off to Terrell Clay. Clay's got a nice gain, about 7 on his first carry of the day.
Yeah, Terrell Clay's done a nice job all season long. You know, he came in, he was a reserve back, but it's giving UTSA quality depth at that position. He really complements what Jalen Rhodes has done, and they just don't miss a step when he's in there, and he's really provided a spark in many of these situations over the last few weeks.
Sure has. Hits the hole really quickly. Not quite as big and strong as Jalen, but he's very shifty and gets into that hole quicker sometimes. Here he is again. Sticks his nose in there across the 20. He's got a first down for the Roadrunners.
Coach Wilson telling us how bright he is, and you know, when you're a young guy and you want to get on the field, you got to pick up protections and things of that nature. He's done it all, but UTSA's got a man down.
Roadrunners dropping like flies today. And again, depth on that offensive line so key.
Yeah, especially, you know, you don't want to see Stephon Beard, big number 65, down. I mean, he's been a stalwart for these guys for many, many years.
We'll take a break. We'll be right back. Where all-conference linebacker Josiah Tawaefa trying to work out that left knee, had a wrap on it. He took it off. So that's encouraging, although I doubt we would see him back today. I don't know. I'm not a doctor. I just play one on TV.
All I know is that is a good sign, because, you know, if it's structural damage, he's not doing that.
Ball's incomplete, intended for Brady Jones. UTSA getting the football back for the first time since 11 minutes to go in the first quarter. When they turned it over, of course, it got the defensive touchdown, so Rice has had possession of this football almost the entire game.
And again, Stephon Beard came off the field, so, man, that's UTSA offensive line is patchwork at this point.
Sturm, inside handoff, Clay. Broke it. Clay, one man to beat. Clay across the 50. Terrell Clay trying to get a block. Cuts it back. One man to beat. Clay to the 5-yard line. Brian Womack, but what a run by Terrell Clay.
Yeah.
74 yards.
Unbelievable hustle by Womack on the back end. Remember, he's a defensive lineman coming back to make that play, but Terrell Clay, once he got past the line of scrimmage, look out. Gets the ball, looks like it's going right, and too many Rice defenders cutting back across the grain, and Clay taking full advantage And he was getting a lot of blocks downfield. Josh Stewart doing a nice job helping him out and springing him back for a big explosive play for UTSA.
That's the good news. The bad news is that 70 yards back downfield, David Anzaldua is walking off the field. Another injury. He's the guy who came on to replace Stephon Beard, who was injured just a play or two earlier. So UTSA now going deep into the depth chart on the offensive line.
Yeah, I don't even know what you do at this point. I mean, they had this problem a couple of weeks ago, and they were getting guys some game snaps for the first time in their career.
Inside handoff to Jalen Rhodes, who's back in there. UTSA pushes him forward. Did he get to the goal line? It looks like they're going to mark him short, as UTSA has subbed in Dominic Pastucci, a true freshman, number 66, at right tackle.
And isn't it interesting, too, you're talking to offensive coordinator Frank Selfo, is like, man, we're used to this, you know, coming from the NFL. That's always the next man up, but they're not going to change what they're going to do. They're just pounding that ball right down the throats of Rice.
After one play out, Terrell Clay back in, and we've got a false start.
Second down.
Chance McLeod, the freshman tight end from Victoria, jumped, and so that'll back him up from 1 yard line to the.
That's what happens, you know. I mean, you've got all these offensive linemen coming in, and you've got shifting and all this other stuff going on, and new guys to the scene, and stands to reason that every now and then you're going to have one of them jump.
Sturm has Stewart one-on-one to his right side, bottom of your screen. Steady fires to the left-hand side, back of the end zone for McNair is incomplete, and all of a sudden, the Roadrunners, who had first and goal, are now third and goal from about the 7.
Well, if it's one thing that UTSA's offense has been good at this year, and they've been good at a lot of things, it's been red zone efficiency. I mean, just one of the best teams in the nation at converting these kinds of drives once they get it inside the 20.
Man comes in motion. That's Shaq Williams. Now Campbell going to the other side. Sturm looks that way, fires on the slant, and a good tackle by the Rice defense, stopping the Roadrunners short of the goal line. JT Ivey making the play, and they're spotting it inside the 1, and Frank Wilson will run out Jared Sackett to kick the field goal.
Yeah, UTSA going with 3 wides over to the left side and tried to hit the slant there, but eBay equal to the task, and you're right, that was one heck of a tackle keeping the wide receiver out of the end zone there.
All right, so Yanni Routsis will hold it for Jarrett Sackett. Only missed 1 kick all year. He's been perfect from this distance, and he's good again there, and the Roadrunners up their lead to 10-0. Hey, for those of you watching in San Antonio, if the Roadrunners score more tonight, you can score for less Sunday and Monday at Mattress and Furniture for Less. If the Roadrunners score more than 30 points in tonight's game, you'll get a 15% discount Sunday and Monday at all 3 Mattress and Furniture for Less locations in San Antonio. It's beautiful inside. So you talk about that red zone efficiency. They'd like to be even more efficient than they are. They get points. Sometimes it's field goals, sometimes it's touchdowns, but that's one right there where you would have thought they'd be much happier with a touchdown.
Yeah, 15 of 16 in terms of scoring points inside the red zone this year, and that's actually 12th nationally. Now, they've had 10 touchdowns. That's their 17th trip inside the red zone. So, yeah, you're right. I mean, we talked about at the onset. You know, part of the problem the last couple of weeks from this offense has been they've had to settle for field goals a little too much. But again, when you've got offensive linemen that are dropping at the rate that UTSA has, yeah, it makes it a little tougher. No doubt.
Austin Trammell on the return. He's across the 30. He's across the 35. A 37-yard return. By the way, all first-half scoring summaries are presented by Ernest Roofing. We've got you covered at Ernest Roofing. Just call 844-896-LEAK.
We'll take a break. UTSA leads Rice 10-0 here in the Alamo Dome. Conference USA football from San Antonio. Welcome back to the Alamo Dome. Second quarter action brought to you by the Wellmaker Law Firm. Choose well. Choose Wellmaker. Call 210-828-6033.
And we talk about continuity, Don, with UTSA being so banged up. Let's not forget, you know, Glazeman, the Rice quarterbacks, missed the last 3 with injury too, so may take him a while to get hot.
The Owls on first down. Hand it off inside to Myers. He gets about 5. Nate Gaines in there to make the tackle. Again, it's so noticeable for that UTSA defense when you don't have the wild man 55 in the middle, his hair hanging out of his helmet, making plays all over the field. So a different look for sure for UTSA with Josiah Tauefa.
Yeah, I mean, if nothing else, you missed the hair around out there.
Glazeman run a little option pitch, got it off just in time, gets it to Myers. Davenport was there again.
I'll tell you what, both of these teams are flat getting after each other right now. Glazeman doing exactly what he's been coached to do. You pitch that ball at the last possible second to make sure that you take the defender with you, and then good job by number 7 there running through the first tackle and making more out of that than probably should have.
Looks like Rice may be taking a timeout, or UTSA's got another injury situation. 99 is Balin Baker, the big defensive tackle from Abilene, sophomore. He's going to limp off. And
there's another guy having a great year for UTSA. So, boy, this has been a costly football game so far for both of these teams here early in the second quarters.
Yeah,
Tauefa probably trying to get a head check at this point.
Tauefa and Jupi, and now Baker on the defense.
Yeah, and you see Rice running Jordan Myers too, running back, moving him over from wide receiver. So both of these teams playing catch as catch can right now.
Third down and a long 2. Inside handoff. UTSA is going to stop him short. One thing you don't want to do on 3rd and 2 is run it to 93's side.
I'm telling you, man, you ain't lying. I mean, I don't know what else you do with this guy. I mean, it's like last week he was getting doubled, he was getting chipped. He's just at another level, and we were talking to some of the coaches this week. I mean, it's one thing to get on the NFL's radar, which he is, but there are now front office executives coming to their practices to watch this guy play football.
Longtime scout John Peterson here tonight. Brady Jones is back. Good high punt, spiraling over Jones's head. Is going to stick right there at the 4-yard line. Just a gorgeous kick by Jack Fox of Rice. UTSA's pinned deep when we come back. Welcome back. Tonight's Conference USA NCAA scoreboard brought to you by HEB. No store does more than HEB. Western Kentucky and Marshall winners today. North Texas, I guess, coming down off that high of beating UTSA, getting spanked at Florida Atlantic. UAB leads at the half, and Louisiana Tech and Southern Miss are in a delay. UTSA starting here at about their own 7. Their average field position today has been the 9, so they've had to go a long way as Rhodes is back in the game, and he gets to the 10 for a gain of about 3. And we had a fumble on the first drive. Emmanuel Ellerby, the all-conference player of the year preseason selection, brings him down. Number 58, a big-time football player.
Yeah, coming across the field to make that play. That looked like it was going to go for more than just 3 yards, but man, this Ellerby kid is next level as well, the way he can close on the ball.
Second and 7 for Sturm. Changing the route with his 2 receivers on the near side, and hands off inside to Rhodes, and Rhodes goes one-on-one and
He'll blow the whistle. He's still on his feet trying to lunge forward. Looks like they're going to spot him at about the 13. So a gain of about 2.5 or 3. Set up third down deep in their own territory, and on comes the fun bunch. Jones, Campbell Jr., and Marquez McNair, the undersized quick receivers. All to one side with Josh Stewart singled up on the outside on the other side.
Yeah, America's finest receivers on Saturday.
That's right. And Sturm rolls that way. Sturm may run for it, slides down, gets the first down, and gets 15 more on a late hit on the Rice Owls. Ellerby was there. He's pleading his case. As is Christian Bertrand.
No, they're talking it over.
Personal foul. Unnecessary roughness. Defense, number 58. 15 yards from the end of the run. Automatic. First down.
He knows better than that. He's a all-conference performer.
Yeah, well, he missed him. Watch this. He took out his own guy. You're not going to be able to see it from that angle, but he actually slid over the top of Sturm and hit his own guy.
And that's what he's saying. I didn't touch him. I touched my guy. I'm sure his teammate doesn't appreciate that either, though.
That's right. Well, they call him for roughing his own guy.
All right, so a new set of downs for the Roadrunners at their own 33-yard line as McNair comes to the near side. And Sturm, straight drop, fires to the outside, and just airmailed it to Rhodes. That one never had a chance. Coming up at halftime, Aaron Carino will bring us the Six Flags Fright Fest halftime show. It's Halloween, and nobody celebrates it like Six Flags Fiesta Texas and Six Flags Over Texas during Fright Fest. If you want some Texas-sized scares, check out sixflags.com for all the details. Second down and 10 for the Roadrunners. Sturm inside to Rhodes. Rhodes still churning forward. Good job by the Rice linebacking crew there on the second level to keep him short of a gain of about 2. Brian Womack in on the tackle.
Yeah, the rhythm of that play looked a little off right there. Like Sturm had to reach a little further than he'd like, making that handoff, and Rice had a bunch of guys ready to make the play. Snuffed it out pretty quickly, and it's going to make this 3rd and long.
Clay checks in for Rhodes. He busted a 74-yarder earlier today. And UTSA again has movement, and this time it might be on the freshman.
False start. Offense, number 66. 5-yard penalty. Remains. 3rd down.
Dominic Pastucci hasn't played a lot this year. He's a true freshman from Pflugerville. Pressed into duty today with all of the injuries to that UTSA offensive line. Stephen Beard going down. Ansel Dua going down. Wright went down, but he's back. Clay in motion. Sturm fires back. Bubble screen to Stewart. Stewart turns it upfield. Spins to the 40. Nice gain to make this a manageable. Well, I'm sorry, it's 4th down, so UTSA will run out the punting unit. Jerry and Clark on the tackle.
Yeah, Rice doing a really nice job on the back end of that. Kind of sensing screen. That's exactly what they got, and had 2 guys there ready to make a play. I tell you, this 44 is all over the field for Rice.
A rollout punting formation for UTSA. Roots gets off a great kick, backing him up all the way to the 3-yard line, and UTSA makes the tackle inside the 5. Yanni Roots, 57 yards. Rice will have it when we come back to the Dome. Hey, welcome back to the Conference USA standings presented by MySA.com, the largest voice in South Texas. For 150 years, North Texas listed at 3-0 there atop the conference. They're going to lose today to drop to 3-1. And so everybody on that side of the conference will have at least 1 loss as UTSA tries to work their record back up into the hunt in the division. Stewart gets it. He's brought down by Martell.
Yeah, I mean, this thing is still wide open in terms of this conference, and same thing for Rice. I mean, they're sitting there at 1-1, so as badly as it looks for their record, and we talked about how tough their non-district or their non-conference games are, there's still a lot to play for those guys too. But I think, Don, that speaks to why Dalton Sturm, UTSA's quarterback, and Kevin Strong, their defensive tackle, called a team-only meeting this week. It's like, we got to quit talking. We got to go win some of these games. So this one's big for both squads.
Second down at about 3. Glazeman, hands off. And it looks like it's going to be a first down for Jordan Myers.
Boy, that had all the looks of some old school football, didn't it? You had movement, guys running around, and then getting the run right up the middle.
Rice Owl is down. Another injury situation here.
I'm telling you, man, this has been one heck of a physical football game. This is, you know, I don't know how many games for UTSA we've done this year, Don, but it's been bordering 4 or 5 of them. This has been as tough a tussle and as much hitting and smashing and guys flying around as I can remember all year long. You could tell how desperate both these teams are.
David Bailiff out to check on Kenneth Thompson. We'll take the break while they attend to him. Welcome back as Kenneth Thompson limps off to the bench for the Rice Owls. It's a war of attrition out here between the Roadrunners and Owls. First down for Sam Glazeman and company. He hands off to Myers straight ahead. Picks up about 3.
You're not kidding. I mean, the way this thing is going, you wonder if they're going to have enough guys for 11 on 11 at some point.
No doubt. And I got a little scared right there as Marcus Davenport got up slowly. A lot of these trap runs means about 3 blockers and 3 tacklers all end up in the same 2-yard space, and guys are falling on top of each other's knees and stepping oddly. Sam Stewart in at running back. A handoff right there to Sam, and he's hit from behind. Blown up by Les Marullo. Kevin Strong was the first one there.
Yeah. Sam Stewart doesn't need much daylight, does he, to get his? Some really nice run and a lot of traffic. And remember, here's another guy. He missed the last 2 games with an injury and saw limited time in the 2 previous games after initially being hurt in the U of H game, but doing a really nice job at the end of this run, picking up 3 more yards in the sticks.
First down for the Owls. They love to keep the ball at the time of possession. Glazeman being pressured. Glazeman's going to be dropped. Andrew Martell. The last one there, but he got some help from some other guys to help make the play earlier in the play.
Yeah, Martell's been a really nice surprise for UTSA this year. He was one of the captains today and saw some time at safety a week ago, and always a great special teams player, and finishing off that play very well for the Roadrunners.
Got a pick this year. Always seems to be around the ball. Second and 13. Stewart's got it, and Davenport's got him. Levine came flying in late. I don't know if the ball may have come out, but Levine came in there like a missile way after the play looked like it was over with.
When you look at Marcus Davenport, and when he grabs you and tackles you, you're not getting away. I mean, it's amazing how much work this young man has put in to become the player that he's become. Sure, he's got some physical attributes, but the coaching staff, they've marveled at how this guy's put on 25 pounds of meat. He's still 6'7", now 250. Just another unbelievable athletic play to tackle for a loss. Uh-oh.
That one's caught down the sideline. A big first down. Juppy finally brings Sam Stewart down, but a jailbreak on the left side. A flag flies late, and I believe they're going to get Juppy for unsportsmanlike after it was all over, and after Rice had already picked up 24.
Yeah, I don't know. I think they're going to think it was some sort of horse collar, and, you know, you can't tuck your legs under the defender when you're trying to take him down. Let's take a look here at the end. It was a bust, obviously.
Personal foul. Horse collar tackle. Defense, number 2. 15 yards from the end of the run, automatic first down.
That's just an awful call by the officiating crew.
The previous play is under review.
And they're going to review it. I don't know if they're going to reverse the horse collar.
I don't know. All I know is Stewart is down on the sideline, and you know, it's just tough. You get a guy's legs caught underneath, and yeah, you can see Jupi was not intentionally trying to drag his legs under anybody. It just...
That's a legal play.
Yeah, got their legs caught up.
Now, they may be looking on the review at the spot and where he stepped out and came back in when he was tackled, but I tell you what, that is not a horse collar. You know, the other interesting thing, you were talking about Davenport when we were watching the replay of that play. And even though Davenport was nowhere close to the play, just to see that guy trying to block him on a sled going backwards, that Marcus Davenport wins every single play. He may not sack the quarterback on every single play, but he's got the other guy on skates every single snap, going backwards. It's amazing.
We're having a long look at this play, and as we said, Samuel Stewart, the redshirt junior, number 45, you know, this is a young man that's already missed some time, and you could tell he's really not feeling too good over there on the right sideline. And geez, this has been an unbelievable game in terms of guys coming
after review. The ruling of horse collar has been changed. The defender grabbed the runner by the numbers below the nameplate. We will place the ball at the 48-yard line, 1st and 10, Rice, and the clock will start on my ready.
Stewart either went out of bounds or was tackled, depending on the way you look at it, but replay gets it right. He's got the jersey right by the sleeve and the number, nowhere near the neck. And that's what a horse collar is defined by.
And I mean, and Jupi just trying to do his best. Again, there was a bust over there. There was nobody covering Stewart out of the backfield. So he's just trying to make a play and get the guy down on the ground. But thank goodness for replay.
They got it right. Lasupa in there running back. And blowing it up from the middle was Kevin Strong. And Lasupa has run out of bounds after a gain of about 2. But boy, Kevin Strong looked like he knew the snap count.
It's another guy for UTSA that's had a whale of a year. UTSA is just so deep on the defensive line. And again, you know, we talked about starting the year with a guy like Solomon Wise, who they lost during training camp. It's just hard to believe how many guys they've stacked on that defensive line that have all produced for the Roadrunners this year.
2nd and 8, ball right at midfield. As Glazeman fakes, now throws, got a man, and it's caught. Austin Walter has a reception for the 1st down. 14-yard gain as Clayton Johnson is ready to recover.
Offense, number 51. 10-yard penalty remains. 2nd down.
Passing play for Rice today, and it's a good one from Glazeman, standing in the pocket, but all for naught. These penalties are just so hard to overcome. I don't care what offense you are.
Boy, that drives coaches crazy. Rice does not have very many of those positive passing plays. They're a run team all the way.
Again, they're young at so many of these positions. Glazeman, the redshirt freshman, but they really like what this young man does in terms of getting the ball to where it needs to be, but that was a tough one to overcome right there.
Firing again. That time was almost intercepted. Clayton Johnson on the coverage.
Yeah, the sophomore transfer from Flower Mound doing a really good job on that one. He saw that the ball wasn't going to be completed. He was able to break himself off the receiver and actually get a hand on that football.
UTSA's 2 deep being tested today. All the injuries. Devron Davis out right on this series. 10th play of the drive. Rice has run off 5 minutes, but they're not going anywhere. 3rd down and 18. UTSA thinks somebody jumped, and they're going to get a false start against the Owls.
False start. Offense. Number 33. 5-yard penalty remains. 3rd down.
All right, so David Bailiff now has 3rd and a mile, 3rd and 23.
They're going the wrong way.
Play action. And oh my goodness, I think C.J. Levine may have. Oh my goodness, Nate Gaines is going to be called for targeting. He's probably going to be ejected, and he nearly killed somebody. Oh my goodness, I cannot believe. Is that Myers that got up? If he would have had his head up, he would have picked it off.
Personal foul. Unnecessary roughness. Defense, number 11. 15-yard penalty. Automatic. 1st down.
Now, take a look at this hit.
Wow.
I don't know how it's illegal if it's not targeting. How is that a penalty? Just because it's late? Either it's targeting and it's helmet to helmet, which is flagrant and ejectable, or it's just good defense.
Well, he didn't hit him with his helmet, but he hit him late.
I guess he hit him late.
Either way, it's a bad play because you give Rice a fresh set of sticks and it was 3rd and forever.
And they're going deep, and it's caught. And it's going to be a touchdown for the Owls. Aaron Cephas beat his man on this side, a 50-yard play, and oh my goodness, has momentum swung.
Well, you see what that does. I mean, wow, it's just hard to believe you could have a turn of events like this. You're getting off the field, you get a bad penalty, and then you get a DB that just misjudges the football. Receiver gets an easy catch and a touchdown.
Will Harrison on to kick it and kick the extra point. And you know, I don't know if you substitute that way all the time to get guys a rest. We'll talk about it when we come back, but there's some substitutions that have been very interesting for the UTSA secondary all season. We'll talk about them when we come back. The Rice fans are fired up back in this football game, only down 10-7 after that 50-yard touchdown reception by Cephas. 5:24 off the clock, 10 plays, 96 yards. And to pick up the point we were talking about before the break, Chuck, it seemed like it was the same situation against Southern Miss when you get away from Juppy and Davis on those corners. They're playing young freshmen, John Tavius Mosley and Clayton Johnson, and there have been a lot of big plays when those young guys have been in there.
I think the bottom line is, Don, you just can't have penalties like they just had. I mean, you're in a tight, tough football game. You're up 10-0. You've generated no touchdowns from your offense to this point in the ball game. Your defense is the only one that's provided the touchdown. And so you cannot afford to give Rice any life or any signs of life if you're UTSA.
Yeah, they're off the field there with an incompletion, if not for Gaines' late hit.
Yeah, and then the next play goes for a touchdown, and now it's game on again. But these are the kinds of things that, you know, when you talk about what's happened to them the last 2 weeks where you've lost 2 games by a total of 5 points, when you add things up, these are the things that get you in the end.
Dalton Sturm going to run it. Slides down after a gain of about 3. UTSA plenty of time. 4 minutes to go here in the half. Coming up also, it's the Six Flags Fright Fest halftime show. If you want to see some Texas-sized scares, check out sixflags.com for all the details.
Yeah, now this is a big drive for the UTSA offense. The sledding has been awfully tough. We talked about the rotations of the offensive line and guys having to come in and out because of injury, so it's been hard to get their tracking, but we'll see if they can answer the bell here and try to get that 7 points back.
A little delay to Rhodes, and it's a big play for Jalen Rhodes. A 16-yard gain before brought down by the Rice defense.
It comes up a little bit gimpy at the end of this, but as you said, a little delay, and just a huge hole, and then great vision on the back end of this, cutting it back towards the left, picking up another 5 or 6 yards.
So Terrell Clay checks in for Rhodes. They're going to attend to him. Bootleg fake, and Sturm does a good job just throwing it out there. He was not outside the pocket, so they will look at this for intentional grounding.
And there were no receivers out there on the right side.
You're right. And they're going to throw a flag.
Well, Rice doing an amazing job. I mean, every now and then you catch a team in the wrong play call. And Rice did just there. And honestly, I think that's one of those plays either way. It was going to be a sack and loss of down and yardage or a penalty.
Intentional grounding. Offense. Number 14. The down counts. Spot is 35.
All right, so it's a loss of down, and it'll be another negative play for UTSA. It'll set up second down and 20. Ball right at the 35-yard line. Stern's got Clay in the flat. He's got him, and he is just buried by Womack. Ryan Womack's been all over the field for that Rice defense today, and he makes a heck of a play there. In space.
Yeah, second team in Conference USA in tackles for losses with 9 on the season. Second in sacks with 5. I mean, what doesn't 44 do for this squad? Tied for 6th nationally, by the way, in yardage for tackles for losses. So 44 is special as well.
UTSA a little confused on the personnel on this set. We got 9 to snap it. Brett Wenigan's in.
How about this look defensively?
They got 3 to snap it. And now they finally get a timeout called by Frank Wilson, and I think that's a pretty good timeout. I'm not sure Sturm was going to get that off.
Timeout. UTSA. It is their first. It will be 30 seconds.
I think what's interesting is just that formation alone right there. Had 3 guys that were going to rush the quarterback, and then their linebackers were 15 yards down the field for Rice.
Taking a look at the UTSA schedule, coming off those 2 heartbreakers to Southern Miss and North Texas. They're at UTEP next week. We'll have the call here on the CW35. And then on the road at Florida International. And they've got UAB and Marshall back here, and then they end at Louisiana Tech. So they think that in their own division that they got the toughest guys behind them in Southern Miss and North Texas. But ahead of them, they've got some tough ones as well.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the next 2 weeks, they got to feel like they can win these games, sure. But, hey, FIU's putting it on North Texas today. UIB has been an offense as good as anybody's in this conference. So, you know, they got a lot of work ahead for sure.
Delay handoff on 3rd down, and just a manageable punt situation as Ellerby makes the tackle on Clay.
Timeout. Rice.
And I beg your pardon.
It is their first.
I said UIB.
It will be 30 seconds.
UAB, Alabama Birmingham. Those guys have scored points as much as anybody this year.
Yeah, and Marshall always strong, and Tech, of course, the class of the league last year. Meanwhile, for David Bailiff's crew, this may have been the toughest schedule in the country. They played Stanford in Australia. They couldn't come home because of the hurricane. They had to hang out in Fort Worth at TCU for a couple of weeks. They beat UTEP, and then they haven't won since. But you look at their schedule, and as you said, Chuck, a lot of those teams went to bowl games last year. All of them went to bowl games last year.
Yeah, they and Tulsa are the only 2 squads in the nation that had all of their non-conference games against teams that all played in bowls the previous year.
Austin Trammell back to receive the punt. Roots has booted a 57-yarder on his last kick. This is a high one off the side of his foot. Not as pretty, but effective. It's going to roll inside the 15. And right there at the 14-yard line. So Rice will have their work cut out for him. A 44-yarder there. Rice will have 2 timeouts and 1:44 to play to try and get on the board before halftime.
Yeah, we'll see what they do because, you know, minus the big play for them, you know, total offense has been negligible as well for Rice. This has been a defensive struggle. A lot of guys getting hurt, and offensive continuity has been hard to come by for both of these teams.
The Owls ready to snap it. 4 wides, 2 on each side. And Glazeman throwing the go route just through the outstretched hands of Cephas, the young man who scored the touchdown on the last drive.
Well, at least we know how they're going to play it. They're going to go deep. And again, you know, explosive plays have been a bugaboo for this UTSA defense 2 weeks in a row. Absolutely killed them against North Texas for sure a week ago. And then against Southern Miss, they counted up 10 of them. And of course, Rice has their only touchdown of the game on a big play. So UTSA's got to be a little leery about this.
Stanley Dye in at one corner. They fired over the middle. Davenport got his hand up, may have batted that one down.
Because of course he did.
Juppie's back in on the other side, but no Devron Davis.
I'll tell you what, it's astonishing that Rice had absolutely nobody accounting for 93. Clearly that cannot be something that was drawn up on paper.
All right, so it's 3rd down. And after a couple of incompletions, the clock's not going anywhere. And UTSA may take a timeout here and get the football back. They take it with 1:26 to go, as Eric Banks will come off.
Timeout. UTSA. It is their second. It will be 30 seconds.
So UTSA may have the ball near midfield with 1.5 minutes and 1 timeout. Anything's possible. We saw a team go 98 last week with no timeouts and $1.07.
Yeah, and Coach Bailiff told us watching the game tape of UTSA, he said that was like winning the lottery. You know, and I kind of liked what UTSA did on defense there. They weren't sitting back waiting for something to happen to them. They were coming after North Texas last week. They just, you know, you could go to about 5 or 6 different things that ended up costing them that game last week and on that final drive. And just a, you know, a game of inches, really.
You win that game 98 out of 100 times. And this may be a fake. No, he finally kicks it at the end, does Fox. And Brady Jones is going to be swarmed at the 30. So UTSA will have to go 70 in 1:15 with 1 timeout. And for everybody that criticized UTSA last week for being too conservative on offense on that last possession, you see what happens. Rice just threw 2 incompletes and a timeout and only took 11 seconds off the clock. UTSA, although they didn't get the first down last week, you know, they left North Texas with no timeouts and they had to go 98. And sometimes if they're going to do that, you just tip your cap to them.
Absolutely. They made plays on the back end, and you know, Juppie ended up getting pushed.
Timeout. Rice. It is their second. It will be 30 seconds.
You know, it was a subtle push, but Conference USA admitted that there was a push on that play that got North Texas across midfield. So, you know, again, it doesn't help you in the end result, but you know, a bunch of different things have to happen. As you said, you know, UTSA picks up the sticks on that 3rd down, game over.
You're a baseball guy. You play the percentages.
Yeah.
And even you're fine if you're Frank Wilson not picking up that 1st down, as long as you take 35 seconds after every snap, drain the clock.
And they
You don't want an incompletion.
Yep.
You get a perfect punt. You get them down on the 2-yard line with 1:07 and no timeouts. You'll take that 6 days a week and twice on Sunday.
And even on the touchdown, they had 2 guys there in position to make a play. They just didn't make it.
Yep. Well, maybe UTSA can do the same right here. Sturm throws it over the middle. Caught. Stewart has the stick, so the clock will stop to move the chains. At 1:09, Brady Wright on the tackle. They reset. They restart. We're right at a minute.
And they did this so well a week ago against North Texas. Got a field goal right before the half. Just missed it.
Could have had a false start there, but don't. Sturm gets outside. Will try to get out of bounds, and he will. That'll stop the clock. Nice job by Dalton Sturm. Smart play. 48 ticks left in midfield.
Yeah, good job, too, by Marquez McNair and Josh Stewart. Working back after they see that their quarterback is running for his life. You know, these guys are running routes. They both come back and try to make blocks to help their guy out. Good hustle.
3 wide receivers to the left, Stewart to the right. Play picks up a block, hit from behind, and Sturm is incomplete, looking for Josh Stewart as Jorian Clark got him from behind.
Sure did, and really nice job of disguising their look and their coverage there by Rice. They looked like they were going to send the house initially and then drop some guys back in the middle of Dalton's viewing area, but then on the backside sent strong side blitz and ripped him pretty good there. He was lucky to get the ball away.
Same set, 3rd and 5 on their own 48. Sturm running for his life. He's going to be sacked. Womack was there. Ellerby was there. And Rice's 2 big-time defenders come up with a big defensive play.
Timeout. Rice. It is their final timeout. It will be 30 seconds.
You know, with all the great players that they've had at Rice, and they've had a lot, well, this guy is 9th on their career chart with 31.5 tackles for loss in his career. Gets him another one there. Already 6 tackles in this ball game. Again, you know, they're missing one of their other guys up front there on the defensive line that's really, really talented and an NFL prospect. But, you know, this guy's 6'3", 250 pounds. 4 inches shorter than Marcus Davenport, but you see how quick and athletic he is, too. And his nose for the football is about what Davenport gives UTSA.
He's a big-time football player. Austin Trammell sits at his 10. Waiting on the punt from Yanni Rootsas. Rootsas gets off a high, booming kick. Backing him up inside the 5. And he's going to be drilled right there by a host of Roadrunners. A 51-yarder by Yanni Rootsas. And he's fired up about it.
Tell you what, Rice likes to field the ball inside their 10, don't they? They may want to rethink that. That was even an odd way to catch the football there at the end. Field that punt.
Get out of the way. Yanni Rootsas with his best performance of the season with a couple of booming punts. It was a crazy way to catch a football.
Brave, too.
You wouldn't coach that.
Tell you what, this has been one heck of a fist fight through 2 quarters, has it not?
Victory formation for the Owls, and they'll go into the half down by 3. Good football game, a lot of mistakes, a lot of injuries, but it's close. UTSA leading 10-7. We'll go down to the sidelines, and Aaron Carino going to hook up with Frank Wilson, and hopefully we can get a check on those injuries of Talaefa and Devron Davis. Aaron, down to you.
So, Coach, defense came up pretty big there in the first half. What do you need to do offensively in the second half to get the ball ball rolling?
Help our defense. We haven't gotten into a rhythm offensively yet. We did the very first drive, got down there, and unfortunately fumbled the football. And since then, we have not been able to put a drive together. We continue to sputter. First of all, we have to protect the quarterback. We're not protecting the quarterback very well right now. Expect the second half for them to blitz us every down. And we got to find a way to protect them and do the things that we need to get first down, ultimately touchdowns.
Overall, it has been a very physical game on both sides. What is the overall health of your team right now?
I'm not quite sure. I have to get with our trainers when we go in here. I know we got a couple of guys that came out of the game. I don't know their long-term status right now.
All right, we'll catch up with you at the end.
Thank you.
All right, thanks a lot, Aaron. When we come back, we'll have our halftime show. UTSA leads Rice 10-7 from the Alamo Dome. Welcome back to the Alamo Dome. UTSA leads Rice 10-7 in a good football game here at the Alamo Dome. Aaron Carreno caught up with Rice coach David Bailiff just moments ago.
Coach, big momentum changer for y'all in the second, coming near the end of the first half. Who would you attribute that to, making the big play for y'all to get some points on the board?
Well, it was a nice throw by Sam to Aaron Cephas, who took it the rest of the way. Aaron's a big play by. We got to get the ball in his hands more in the second half. Sam, we have to get him more consistent. This is just his third football game. He's a redshirt freshman. He's going to get better every snap. Consistency is what we need from him.
Yeah, so what are some positives you are seeing from your team? Overall, it's a very physical game today.
We're playing a very physical. It's a great effort by both teams. We need to create some takeaways defensively to help our offense out. But it's been a hard-fought game this half. We need to get some breaks this second half and go home a winner.
Best of luck this second half. Guys.
Thanks, Aaron. And there's another MacArthur graduate. That's, if you don't recognize the guy in the white shirt, that's the manager of your Toronto Blue Jays, John Gibbons. Matt grad of what, 81?
Class of 80 along with Bailiff. Two buddies that go back a long way, and obviously why he's on the Rice sideline today.
Yeah, Bailiff may have been a big brother to John Gibbons. Bailiff graduating in '76, back in those great MacArthur era. John Gibbons, a proud Brahma.
We just talk about the number of Rice guys that have come through San Antonio. I mean, there's been a pipeline since way back in the Tommy Kramer days, but talk about, guys that have played in the NFL from San Antonio that went to Rice: Indy Kalu, Darryl Grant, Jared Dillard, and then current guys, Philip Gaines, Andrew Sendejo, and Scott Solomon. So, this Rice program has leaned on San Antonio and its area recruits many, many times over the years.
Going all the way back to Weldon Humble. Way back in the 50s when Rice was a power, as Jordan Myers has it. Of course, Jerry Comalander, his name from Northeast School District. He went to Rice. His son Mark, one of the better quarterbacks in Rice history.
Yeah, 4 of their 7 career passing leaders all hail from San Antonio. Chase Clement, Tommy Kramer, Mark Comalander, and your very own Nick Fanuzzi from Churchill High School.
That's right, that's 2 Chargers
That's
there.
right.
Clement went to Alamo Heights. San Antonio's own David Darr, a very proud Rice Owl. All-conference DB for the Owls. Glazeman going deep. Got nobody out there. That's going to be picked. Clayton Johnson, who was beaten earlier, may take this to the house. Flag flies as Johnson crosses the 20. It's going to be UTSA football after the 53-yard interception return by Clayton Johnson Jr., but is coming back to about the 40-yard line.
Well, just a big-time play, and obviously a bust between receiver and quarterback there for the Rice Owls, and 29 just playing a little center field and hauling it in.
After the interception, holding, 14 of the interception team. 10 yards from the spot of the foul. First down, UTSA.
Hey, all second half replays presented to you by Thomas J. Henry. When you or your family needs help, call Thomas J. 24/7, nights and weekends.
Yeah, just a simple go route, and somebody didn't get the message. And then Johnson doing a nice job finding the ears. And then also great vision coming back. And obviously that hold happened very early on in the interception. So their field position's not going to be as good as they'd like, but still huge early defensive play for UTSA, giving their offense the ball back.
You know, after being beaten by Cephas for that touchdown, he was taken out of the ball game. Stanley Dye replaced him for a series, but Johnson Jr. making the most of it, getting back in for the second half and makes a big-time play. Inside handoff to Rhodes. Nice gain of about 6, maybe 7. Will set up second down and 3. Roe Wilkins on the tackle.
And hard for this UTSA offense in the first half to find its rhythm after that initial drive. You know, they went right down the field. Looked like they were going to come away with some points, but they turned it over, and it has been tough sledding ever since. So we'll see if they can kind of get a rhythm here to start the third quarter.
And another injury situation, this time for Rice. About the 8th, 9th injury in this game. David Bailiff goes out to check on his injured player. And see who it is. Thomas looks to be okay.
Well, that's good news because, my goodness, I mean, it seems like every play.
We've had 8 injury timeouts in this ball game. Unbelievable.
Yeah, and I mean, you're talking about 2 teams that have already battled the injury bug, so
yeah,
it's just getting worse and worse.
No Kerry Thomas Jr. We thought this would be his big return game. He's not playing. Tau F is out.
Yeah, Kerry tried to give it a go last week. He just clearly wasn't himself.
Campbell Jr. on the sweep. Greg Campbell Jr. to the 30, to the 25, and he's taken down at the 20. And you can see why. Frank Wilson loves that young man. He's really come on this year. 25-yard gain, gone ahead of Josh Stewart in receptions. Is now their leading receiver, and you can see his explosive athletic ability here.
Yeah, and a guy that's really worked hard to get himself into this position. Wasn't a guy that they were really counting on. Heck, this was a guy that hardly even traveled a year ago. But through hard work and changing a couple other things, got himself on the field. He's been a really pleasant surprise to this offense this year. Look out.
Sturm, Womack had him in his sights, and Womack continues to dominate this football game for the Rice defense.
Yeah, it's one of those guys you're going to have to start bringing some help because he is absolutely having his way. And then they fake the pitch, but Womack is just able to single up his guy and blow by him on the speed rush and comes up with yet another tackle behind the line of scrimmage. This guy's a machine.
Sets up second down and 14. Sturm running for his life again. Gets outside the pocket, fires. Did he hang on to it? Touchdown, UTSA, Brady Jones. 26 yards. You heard all about him and all from him on the halftime show, and Brady comes through as if he knew he was featured at halftime.
Unbelievable throw here by Dalton Sturm, feeling the pressure, rolling out, has all that green in front of him, decides he could do one of 2 things. He can run, but never took his eyes from down the field and threw a pinpoint pass to a diving Brady Jones for 6. Good start for UTSA's offense in the second half.
Jared Sackett hasn't missed all year. He's up and true, and UTSA strikes first in the second half. Roadrunners up 17-7 thanks to the touchdown from Brady Jones. Dalton Sturm with a beautiful touch throw. We're coming to the Alamodome back after this. Welcome back, everybody. Hey, tonight's third quarter of CSN football presented by Crossroads Collision Center. Your search is over. Quality you can trust. Call 210-561-5722. The second half scoring summaries tonight also sponsored by North Star Dodge. Open Sunday. North Star Dodge, your savings destination. Austin Trammell and Kylan Granson back to receive the Daniel Portillo kick. As big turnover by the Rice Owls and a big play by Greg Campbell Jr. set up the touchdown to Brady Jones. And again, the unorthodox catching stylings of Austin Trammell.
Guy's got some good hands, though.
Maybe he's playing center field. Maybe he's a baseball player, Chuck. Yeah, I think he's got a glove. Hey, tonight's second half scoreboard sponsored by the Botter Group at San Antonio's finest realty, integrity, service, and excellence. The Botter Group, San Antonio's finest realty. See how Glazeman bounces back after throwing an Oski on his last pass attempt. Ball's in the 25-yard line. It's a jet sweep. Across the 25 is Cameron Montgomery, and he's going backwards after a host of Roadrunners are there to shut him down.
I'll tell you what, that was one heck of a tackle there.
Carl Austin in there celebrating.
25, Carl Austin III. Young man from Austin. Junior has 2 letters, and talk about bowing up and stiffening up your back. Look at this.
Yeah, if that's Carl Austin III. Montgomery wouldn't want to see number 1 or number 2.
That's right.
Second down. Backup quarterback in, firing. And there's a number of them on the roster. Miko Smalls not on the depth chart. He's a freshman from Plano. And they have played Smalls this year. But they've decided to go with him instead of Glazeman here. Jackson Tyner is their backup. They're going all the way deep into the depth chart here with Miko Smalls. Third down and 3. Smalls wants to run, and the combination of Marcus Davenport, Lakel Bass, and Kevin Strong Jr.
Well, Smalls isn't the tallest guy on the planet, no pun intended, and just too many Roadrunners back there. And tell you what, man, Kevin Strong Jr. has had one heck of a season for UTSA as well. Kind of quiet last week, but you know, they asked him to do a lot there at the one technique, but it's another great play by him.
It's a booming kick by Fox, taken by Jones right at the 40. He's brought down there. UTSA now looking to really push this game with momentum after a 38-yard punt, and offense comes onto the field very confident after their last drive.
Well, and the way UTSA's defense has played to this point, you know, you can go a long way if you get some points on this end, really put the pressure on the Owls, who've had a hard time moving the football up and down the field so far today.
Yeah, you get the feeling on that huddle right there that this is an opportunity they want to seize. Really have a chance to put your foot on the throat here. Up 17-7. Fake handoff to Rhodes. Sturm fires over the middle, caught. Jones turns it inside, and he's down to about the 40-yard line before it's whistled there. Emmanuel Ellerby, their all-conference linebacker, makes the tackle, but not before Brady Jones, who scored the touchdown, picks up another 20.
Yep. Kept Dalton clean that time. You heard Coach Wilson talk right after halftime with Aaron about making sure they protect their quarterback first and foremost. That time gave him a nice little throwing lane, and Brady found a really nice place to just kind of settle down and catch the football in some wide open green space.
Tight end fullback set now. Cavill and Stewart the only backs. Watch out, Sturm's running, gets it off, and it gets it caught to Danon Cavill from Madison High School. Played at Oklahoma before transferring back here to San Antonio.
I'll tell you what, it's almost like the Rice defense has the UTSA playbook. Every time there's a play fake, they've got somebody coming free on a blitz, and they're making a beeline for the quarterback and making no bones about it. That time they just didn't quite get home, but man, they're reading these things almost verbatim.
Again, UTSA going with the 2 receiver set here, which means Stewart is in at the fullback. And Reed Dara jumped at right tackle, and that's going to be a false start on big number 74.
False start, 74, offense. 5-yard penalty, remains 2nd down.
So instead of 2nd and 5, it's going to be 2nd and 10. And UTSA staying with this personnel package.
You know, penalties really weren't a big factor in the last couple of ball games, but they were earlier in the season. You thought UTSA may have cleaned that up, but it's been a problem a little bit today.
Robert Ursua in at tight end. Rhodes gets loose. Jalen Rhodes to the outside, gets the 30, sticks his nose down there and gets the first down before Destry White finally brings him down. A 12-yard gain and a first down Roadrunner.
Really like how aggressively Jalen Rhodes gets this football, and then look at this. You got one arm tackler, and that's not going to be good enough, but immediately pops it back outside and then has the wherewithal to get down because there's a couple of cruise missiles trying to take him down. Lived to fight another play. He's been nicked all afternoon.
Terrell Clay in, pump and go. Wide open is Josh Stewart, and Dalton just overshot him. There was nobody within 5 yards of Stewart when he let that go, but he just maybe got a little too much adrenaline seeing a guy that wide open.
Yeah, just didn't quite find the connection there, but almost looked like Josh stopped, but I guess he had to adjust back to the football, which he did, and then took quite a shot there at the end of that play. That's one UTSA would like to have back. Maybe not quite as much air. Zip it in there.
4 wide receivers set now. Trips to the left. Terrell Clay into block. It's a quarterback draw. Sturm right up the middle. Sturm's got room. Sturm's got the 10. Sturm's got the 6 before going out of bounds. Justin Bickham makes the tackle, but Sturm makes a 22-yard run, and UTSA is knocking on the door again.
And again, you know, design quarterback keeper, which they weren't doing an awful lot of early. And David Bailiff talked about he just loves the courage of Dalton Sturm, play in and play out. Very rarely will slide. And we talked to Frank Wilson this week, and he said he's absolutely not been coached to do that. Don't be the hero. Get down. Live to fight another play.
Inside handoff. Clay is submarined by Womack.
But it's hard. You know, you're in a game. You're in a tough tussle. You're trying to make a play for your squad. And, you know, it's admirable. But sometimes it's hard to coach it out of the quarterback.
Yep. Toughness. You might play that position, but you maybe have a linebacker mentality. UTSA still working with personnel changes as the tight end Ursua comes out, junior college transfer. Clay's it back there. Stewart in the block. Hand it inside. No, it's a fake. Sturm going for these pylon. Got it. No, they say he stepped out. They say he stepped out at the 3. Just a misstep by there, otherwise it was 6.
Yeah, great play design. Could have handed it off to Clay, who also had a hole, but he did everything but take out the camera guy on that play.
If I'm UTSA, I'm looking at that. On the replay, he extended that all the way to the 1, but they're going to mark it there. He wants to throw over the middle, got a man, it's Shaq Williams, it's incomplete, overshot him on 3rd down.
Again, terrific play design by Frank Selfo and company. They just didn't quite convert it, but it was all you can eat in terms of where he could go with that football. Josh Stewart did an amazing job on his route too, selling the run and then breaking into a route last second. Just a little too tall on the pass play, and UTSA is going to have to settle for 3.
So the Roadrunners will get the field goal attempt by Sackett. It's good, as usual. He's very dependable, the young freshman. UTSA's up 20-7 with 5:40 to play here in the 3rd quarter. Welcome back. It's time to answer our San Antonio Chevy Dealers UTSA team trivia question tonight. The 7th home game tonight for UTSA, homecoming game. Who was that very first opponent in the first homecoming game, Chuck, back in 2011? You'll never guess.
I therefore will not guess. I don't have an answer this week.
Bacone College. Boy, I think the competition level stepped up a notch.
Yeah.
Not to be confused with the great Bacone's restaurant that used to be here in San Antonio.
That was a good place.
Oh, that was great. The Bambino Huey. Trammell takes it at the goal line. Trammell's got some speed. He's submarined right there at about the 24-yard line, 23. Marcus Curry got him. Yeah, UTSA, we talked about this a couple of weeks ago. You know, it's not a bad crowd, 22, 23, whatever thousand we'll have again today. But back in that initial year, they had 54 on the opener. They were routinely over 37, 42,000 fans. And they were playing Bacone. You can do better, Roadrunner fans. It's a good football team you got here. You should get out and see them.
Yeah, I mean, 5 points away from being unbeaten.
A little shift there for the offensive line for Rice on 1st and 10. Glazeman's back in, he hands off, and it's going to be Jordan Myers with a nice pickup of about 6 before C.J. Levine and company throw him to the ground. Set up a 2nd down and 3.
Glazeman's back in at quarterback, so Miklo Smalls got 1 series,
and then David Bailiff said, "You're killing me, Smalls."
I don't know, the kid's a true freshman, man. Got to play against Army last week, and you know, they're starting true freshmen at quarterback, man. That's tough.
Glazeman showing his speed. Wow, Sam Glazeman. All the way down to the UTSA 31-yard line. 37-yard gain.
So they run a little dive on 1st down with all that shifting and movement. They just run the old RPO, and look at this. Nothing but green space and quarterback accounted for. So if you're UTSA, you weren't looking for that. He hasn't done a whole lot of that today.
Yeah, you see the athleticism by Glazeman.
We talked about it at the onset, Don, where his brother was a 3rd-round draft pick of the Tampa Bay Rays not that long ago.
Well, jet sweep, reverse. Walters got it. Watch Marcus Davenport. Oh, my goodness, did he make a play.
Now, that's a tackle for a loss right there.
That's a 6'7", 250-pound grown man running after a little back. And he's got just the speed to get him.
Look at him stay at home, just reads it all the way. Just an unbelievable football play by Marcus Davenport. And every week, this guy's just adding to his tape resume that, I mean, jeepers, you just can't say enough superlatives about this guy.
You know, I've found myself watching him. You just watch him on every single play, he pushes a guy backwards. It takes 3 guys to block him. Go outside, down this sideline is Asupa. Emmanuel Asupa. He's had a nice year. 33 carries coming into this game. Matches number. It's a 12-yard run. And after that giant loss, it's a manageable 3rd and 13 for the Owls.
Yeah, UTSA was not expecting to run there, but you can't blame them. Let's see what Rice decides to do here on 3rd and 12.
Davenport,
just a man. Just a man.
Played it perfectly. The athletic ability to get out there and bring Myers to the ground.
It was almost like he cloned himself. Watch this. He's ISO'd up on the quarterback, and he just made, no offense, and if I'm Sam, I'm pitching the ball too. He sees, oh, I got 93 and up, I'm getting rid of it. I mean, I don't know what you do there. I don't know how you play that any better.
Rice going for it here on 4th down. Good spot on the field to do so. But they've got to pick up 14 here. Kind of in no man's land. Quick kick territory. Balin Brown blowing it up.
Glazeman's going to get the first down and more. Slides down inside the 20, all the way down to about the 14. He gets up slowly, but a heck of a run and a heck of a play. 18 yards by Sam Glazeman.
UTSA bringing the house on 4th and 13 and just could not get anybody home. And as soon as Glazeman was able to slip that first tackle, there wasn't a whole lot of guys there because they'd all committed. And then he took a shot right in the head right there at the end of the run, inadvertently.
UTSA lives and dies gambling with that Pete Golding aggressiveness. Here's Glazeman again. This time he's brought down short of the 10 by Nate Gaines.
Well, usually, you know, if your coaches see that taking a shot like that at the end of the run, they give you a play off, but they went right back to Glazeman because that play's worked well on this particular drive. Just let your quarterback do his thing. The UTSA is going to have to commit now to number 4 because he's beating him with his feet on this particular series.
2nd down and 5. Rice knocking on the door. Yasupa's got it. And he's picked up about a yard, but he's going to be short of the first down marker. Need to get almost all the way to the 8 to get the first down. And they'll spot it outside the 10. They want to go quickly on 3rd and 2. Yasupa's got 50 yards rushing on this drive. They hand it to him again. He's got the first down and more, but it's going to be coming back. There's a flag down. Carl Austin III on the tackle. And I believe that one's coming back.
Holding. Offense. Number 79. 10-yard penalty. Remains. 3rd down.
Jalen Haynes, number 95 for UTSA, the freshman from Wharton, doing a really nice job sliding on that particular play, and I think he was the one that was held. So that's a huge penalty for Rice now. You know, you think you got the first down and you're going to be inside the 10 knocking on the door and, you know, potentially make this a one-score game.
That is the end of the 3rd quarter.
Instead, it's backed up and you're looking at a huge 3rd down play.
It'll be 3rd and 12 when we come back. The 3rd quarter has come to an end. UTSA on top of Rice, 20-7. We're coming back with 4th quarter action right after this. Welcome back, everybody. All 4th quarter action tonight on the CityWide Sports Network, presented by the Alzavar Shrine Circus. Tickets are available at Ticketmaster.com. The famous come and take it flag by the UTSA student section always starts the 4th quarter, and here we go. Rice with a 3rd and 12, knocking on the door at the UTSA 20-yard line. Three wides to the right for Sam Glazeman. Looking that way. Davenport's got him for another sack. If he's not the best player in Conference USA, tell me who is.
I mean, you got to go further than this conference as far as I'm concerned. I mean, this guy is just something else. I mean, and it's not only, you know, okay, you're beating guys off the speed rush, you got all this athletic ability, but I mean, look at the burst. Look at how strong his hands are. That's what Coach Wilson was talking about. He's just got every single intangible, and then he makes plays on top of it. Oh, look at the fake.
Glazeman coming up, gonna try to pitch it, kept it, not gonna get there. UTSA football. It would have been a 39-yard try. And that's a little bit too much to get. It was a 4th and 5, you got a shot, but.
Yeah, good job by the UTSA special teams sniffing that one out. You want to win the 4th quarter, you got to make plays. And UTSA is doing it to this point. We'll be back after this.
Welcome back to the Alamodome. A reminder, you can watch this game again. It's an encore presentation tomorrow at 10 a.m. on KCWX. Rice went 10 plays, 61 yards, took 6 minutes off the clock, and still come away with no points
as UTSA's defense bends but doesn't break. And now Dalton Stern has his quad with the football at their own 15. It's Clay. Clay's got big yardage across the 30. That's good for a first down. Ellerbe finally brings him down, not before he gets 16.
And there's a flag.
Holding. Offense. Number 68. 10-yard penalty. Remains. First down.
Austin Pratt with the hold. There's your guy, Chuck, starting to scrap.
Yeah, he's the kind of guy you want on your football team, trust me. I mean, we talked about Austin a lot during the course of these broadcasts week in and week out, but you know, in particular last year, I know we were doing the Old Dominion game last year and he wasn't playing. The second he came in that game, it flipped because of his tenaciousness is just infectious along that offensive line. They love that kid.
Split Campbell out wide. Stern running all the way. It's Dalton Stern. Stern, again, doesn't slide down. He may get the first down. He's going to be close. They're going to mark it right at the 25. It's an 18-yard pickup, and depending on the spot, it's going to be real close. They're going to move the chains. First down, UTSA. Boy, he didn't give up on that. He knew exactly where he had to get to, and he made sure he got there.
Yeah, running out of superlatives for this guy, too. I mean, he beat you with his arm. One of the most accurate passers in the entire nation. I think ranked 10th last check. And he's been doing it with his feet here the last few weeks as well.
Whistles blow.
The ruling on the field is first down. The previous play is under review.
So David Bailiff wants to look at the spot. We said it was close on that, where they spotted the football, where Dalton got to, and then where they spotted it.
You know, from my vantage point, I thought, okay, for sure this is going to be not a first down at first glance. So perhaps a generous spot, but we'll take a look and see.
Did you see? The ref just right there just went over and picked up the football and moved it back about 6 inches.
No, I didn't see that.
It was hilarious.
Well, let's take a look and see where he was ended up stopped on this previous play. Running, not sliding.
He's got to get all the way to the 25. He's pushed forward.
That's close.
It's right on top of it before he gets pushed back. You have to have an angle right down the line.
We'll be able to see a little better, though, from this play.
There's the 20. He's short. Then that push right there.
Yeah, it's
Where's
close.
The ball?
It's really close.
Well, his ball's out in front of his foot, and his foot was about a foot short of the 25. So it looks like the ball is at the 25. When you watch the very last step that he takes, right there, the ball's out in front of his foot. And his foot is real close to there. This is going to show you. Does the ball cross the 25?
Look at his feet. Never stops moving. And these guys are trying to take a shot at your quarterback, and this is your quarterback doing the heavy lifting.
It's going to be close. I think they've got the mark on the field where the 3 officials are standing right now, right by the football. I think they've got the spot about right. But again, that guy walked up and grabbed that ball, backed it up 6 inches.
Yeah, it's always one of those things. Again, you got a judgment on the field, and then you got a judgment in the booth. We'll see what they decide.
After review, the ruling has been changed. The ball was dead at the 24.5-yard line. We'll reset the ball there.
And this is one of those things with all the technology in the world that we've got to get fixed in football. We're still using chains from the 1800s when you could easily put chips in the ball and a grid right under the turf within millimeters.
It's coming.
And all that would come on would be a red light or a green light.
Just like the strike zone in baseball. I mean, it's coming. Or the globe.
Down is second.
For hockey.
The clock will start on my signal.
Second down and 1. And Stern keeps, and he's got the first down.
So again, this is a really important drive for UTSA, Don. I mean, let's be honest. You know, you want to win the fourth quarter. It's one thing to put your fingers in the air and talk about it, but you got to go out and do it. And that's what we were talking to Coach Wilson about this week. You know, in order to be 5-0, which they were awfully close to being, you know, you got to earn your way, and nobody's going to give you anything. And obviously, UTSA isn't that far away, and they're a really good football team, but you got to go take it. And I thought what was interesting, Coach Wilson telling us this week, is we've gotten what we've deserved. You know, we've been in a position to win these last 2 games, but we didn't do it. So we're going to have to be more efficient at the end of these games. We've got to make some plays. We've got to make some stops. You know, they are getting exactly what they thought they would get from Rice. I mean, this is a team, as we said, 1-1 coming into conference play. Played great against UTEP, won that game. Played pretty well against FIU, too, and almost won that game.
Here's Clay. Hard to bring down. He picks up another 4 or 5.
But these games are coming down to being nail biters, and that's what's expected in Conference USA because of the parity from top to bottom. And again, they got to answer the bell. They got to finish these games. They got to finish these drives. And sure, it's been heartbreaking. I mean, they put in a lot to this season, and they really feel like they should be 5-0 at this point. But nobody is going to hand you an ounce in this league. You got to go get it. You got to come and take it, as they say.
3rd and 4. And it's all Sturm keeping. Watch out. Dalton Stern's got speed. Can he outrun the guy? He can't. Pushed out of bounds short of the 30, but a big-time gain before Destry White got him on the angle. 33 yards.
Now, Rice mixing up their defense there early on. Everything was coming at Dalton Sturm. Every time they do a play fake, guys were going to Dalton Sturm. This time, they went and gambled with the runner, with the running back, and Dalton gashed him for a huge explosive play to move UTSA onto the other side of the field.
Inside Rice territory at the 35. It's 1st and 10 Roadrunners. Rhodes back in there. And Womack buries Sturm.
44, you are something else too.
That's his 3rd sack of the game. 7-yard loss, and he's looking over at Marcus Davenport on the UTSA sideline saying, hey, 93, anything you can do, I can do better.
Yeah, I don't know about that, but this guy is obviously, the way he makes plays behind the line of scrimmage as well, is going to get the attention of those guys that make their living on Sunday. He's a special, special player.
Sturm, delayed handoff, Rhodes. Rhodes trying to bounce it outside. Stiff arms his way to the 37. It'll be 3rd down and long. No, I didn't say I agreed with him. I'm just saying he's probably thinking that.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to give anything away to anybody. Not in his own mind, that's for sure. He's really, really good.
See if they call up 80's number. Stewart's had kind of a quiet night.
Yeah, they've got so many good receivers at UTSA. They'll go 6 or 8 deep on you.
Sturm, little bubble screen to Stewart, and he got blown up as he tried to catch the football coming across on a little bubble screen type thing.
Yeah, it'll bring up 4th down, but
Christian Bertrand with the physical hit, and Stewart looks to be a little shaken up.
Well, UTSA went 2-by-2, trying to set that up like they were going to run some deep stuff and maybe some crossing patterns. Rice saw that screen coming a mile away and sniffed it out very early on. Get their offense the ball back.
This would be a fun place to fake, huh? Pretty safe.
I don't know, the way your defense has gone.
Yeah,
make him
play
go
the percentages for sure. Roots this with a high angling kick to the sideline, and it's not going to be as good as he wanted it as they march it back up. And we'll tell you where they spotted it when we come back. UTSA on top, 20-7. Welcome back. Our CityWide Sports Network telecast calendar brought to you by IHOP. Eat up every moment next Saturday. You can watch UTSA going to El Paso. We'll have the call here on the CW35. You can see the upcoming games as well, including Georgia State at Texas State. Trinity game as well, as Miklos Smalls is back in. He hands it inside.
Look out.
Getting outside and getting down the sidelines is Yusupa. And Nate Gaines finally brings him down, but you can see the speed of Yusupa.
Well, they haven't had much luck throwing the football here today. Just 4 completed passes on the day, but the Rice offensive line doing a really good job singling up guys, and once 33 got through there, man.
Doing the run. Block in the back. Offense. Number 28. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Remains. First down.
So it's coming back, but this young man had a whale of a ball game a week ago. Averaged almost 10 yards a carry, and well, there it was.
Yeah.
Clear as day.
David Bailiff's squad has some real missed opportunities because of untimely penalties.
They feel like if they're going to get back in this game, Smalls might give him the best chance to do that, maybe with his feet on the ground. Actually started the game, as we said, against Army a week ago.
Hands it off. Again, it's Yusupa. Gets a first down.
Rice right now, I mean, only 87 yards in the air in this football game. And remember, a lot of that came on that big play that went for a touchdown. So UTSA's pass defense really holding up its end of the bargain to this point, and only giving up about 180 yards so far in this football game on the ground.
Smalls fakes it, goes deep one-on-one, got a man out there. It's pass interference on Jupi, but it's not going to matter because Cephas has another huge gain. He had the 50-yard touchdown, and it didn't matter that he was mauled by Austin Jupi. He fought him off to catch the football.
Now, big plays have been a bugaboo for this UTSA defense the last couple of weeks. I mean, as good as a defense as they've got there, they just have not been able to limit these explosive
Pass
plays against
interference.
them.
Defense, number 2. The result of the play is a first down. That penalty will be declined. First down, Rice.
Got a 50-yard touchdown and now a 54-yard catch, and Jupi was all over him, holding his jersey, pushing, and Cephas still made the play.
They tried to locate the football, but that ball was just thrown on a dime. Nice job by Smalls. We talked about his ability to run. Nothing wrong with that throw right there.
Right on the money. He's got Myers back there with him in the backfield. And he's got 1st and 10 at the UTSA 17. Keeps it himself. Getting to the outside, he'll be pushed out of bounds as Darryl Godfrey, young man from San Antonio.
Guys are still playing whistle to whistle. Tell you what, Jupi had a little message there for one of the Rice players at the end of that play. He and Aaron Cephas got tangled up. 2 guys that combined on the last pass play.
Cephas was really angry about the pass interference and made the play anyway, and he and Jupi are still going at it.
Well, this has been fun.
Smalls little inside pitch, shovel pass to Myers. Does not pick up the first down, but it picks up about 3.
Yeah, that looked a little wobbly there to start, and then Davenport got the shot in to get the tackle. And you know, again, Davenport coming off a week where he had 8 tackles, career high, 2.5 sacks, 4 tackles for a loss, and backing it up here today as well. Another spectacular performance. So Bailiff's squad's looking at 3rd and 5. We're winding close to the 6-minute mark of this football game. They could really use a touchdown here, to say the least.
I think they're probably thinking
Rice.
2 down territory here probably. We'll take a break. We'll see what they do When they come back, UTSA leading 20-7. Welcome back, Conference USA. The NCAA scores this evening, sponsored by HEB. No store does more than HEB. Western Kentucky over Old Dominion, Marshall over Middle Tennessee. And as we said, Florida Atlantic just smacked North Texas 69-31. They're back underway with Louisiana Tech leading Southern Miss, and Charlotte beat UAB in overtime.
See, that's a huge game, Don. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I mean, you have Southern Miss. If they win that football game or lose that football game, looks like Rice is going to score and get back in this game.
Asupa beat his man to the outside, and Rice stretched it out there and scored, but there's a penalty.
Holding. Offense. Number 76. 10-yard penalty. Remains. Third down.
Yeah, but just to show you how tough this conference is top to bottom, I mean, just to finish the thought before the touchdown that was nullified. Let's see if we can take a look at the whole, but you know, you have La Tech that UTSA still has yet to play. So if Southern Miss goes down today, that's 2 losses for them. And again, things getting mighty bunched up here in Conference USA.
Wow, what a break for the Roadrunners.
I'll say, go from having this a 1-score game and fist fight. Now Rice is looking at 3rd and 15 to try to extend this drive.
Small, straight drop, being pursued, gets rid of it early, and it's incomplete. And look who's out there in pass coverage. Marcus Davenport is playing corner.
Look at him laugh. You know,
that's ridiculous.
Well, it is. But, you know, we're lucky enough to do the T&L game earlier this week. And his alma mater, Stevens High School, was one of the teams featured. And the coaches were telling us that when this guy was a freshman, he was a wide receiver.
A star basketball player?
Yep. So there's nothing he can't do. I wouldn't be surprised if he flies the plane to UTEP next week.
He stayed with Asupa all the way down to the 5. Look out, Davenport sack. Marcus Davenport is dominating this football game.
2nd week in a row. Get this guy a gold jacket. He's a one-man wrecking crew. I mean, the only thing he's missing is a nickname.
He's unblockable. That's from the play before where he was out in coverage. And we'll come back and look at more Marcus Davenport highlights when we come back. Right of your screen, 33 and 93, and that's a 6'7", 250-pound man running stride for stride with a running back. And then on the next play, overpowering a 280-pound offensive lineman to get the sack. Unbelievable. Size, speed, everything you want, Chuck.
I'm telling you, the only thing this guy's missing is a nickname, and his initials are MD, so it's got to be something off doctor, right? Like Dr. Sackenstein or Dr. Destruction MD, something. I mean, and you know what? He's such a humble kid and never talks himself up. And oh man, he's just something else.
Superman's already taken.
That's for sure.
Let's go down to the sidelines. Aaron Carino's got more on Marcus Davenport.
Yeah, when Coach Wilson first met Marcus Davenport, at the first glance, he said he saw potential. And over the summer, he put on weight, got bigger, faster, stronger. And if you can believe it, he gets better and better each week. He's a great player and works at it too. On TV, through the media, he's very soft-spoken, but Frank Wilson says he sure does speak with his helmet and pads.
Look at Terrell Clay. He's just, I'm better than you. 30 yards, Terrell Clay fighting off tackles and fighting the downfield tackler, and was finally dropped from behind. That was just a big-time play, getting through these 2 tacklers up front. And then watch the stiff arm. Get off me. And he's got one more.
Yep, 2 guys, and then you're not going to arm tackle that gentleman. Just a guy making a play for his squad as they try to milk this clock here up 20-7.
Rhodes in. They pitch it to him. Jalen Rhodes turns it upfield. Jalen Rhodes with a nice game near the 30, but a flag's down in the backfield. We may have a hold. Emmanuel Ellerby is down.
Holding. Offense. Number 68. 10-yard penalty. Remains. Second down.
There's a Rice player down injured on the field too, but just to finish the thoughts on Marcus Davenport, because we can't talk enough about what he's doing. And we asked him this week if he thought, Coach Wilson thought Marcus may have had his best game ever last week against North Texas. He said, yeah, I think so. Well, he follows it up with today's game. But again, whether it's pass rusher or a guy disrupting in the backfield or chasing the ball down or covering wide receivers, holding the point of the edge, whatever it is, this guy wants to be good. He's been working that way and obviously playing at a level right now that I can't even remember anybody at this school playing like this.
And you got to figure he can put on 15 more. If he gets to 265, forget about it. At 6'7" and the way he can run,
yeah.
I mean, and not to mention the plays we saw at Texas State where he blew up the backfield twice. And he had one earlier against Southern Miss as well where he, a lot of times, on a handoff in the backfield, he hit the wrong guy. He hit the quarterback or whatever after he'd handed it off. But that guy's not getting up. He's just destroyed. He's a missile. Reminds me a lot of DeMarcus Ware.
Just taller.
Yeah. Penalty backs UTSA up. They hand to Rhodes. Goes nowhere. Maybe back to the line of scrimmage.
Well, yeah, I mean, Aaron was talking about how soft-spoken he is. I mean, I think in terms of, you know, he's not a guy that beats his chest. He's kind of a leader by display, you know, uses his helmet and shoulder pads to do all the talking, and you just talk about all the things that he's added to his tool belt, you know. His hands are so much stronger than they were before. His explosion has improved. Just a dynamic, and you said it 2 weeks ago, partner, I mean, he's unblockable. I mean, that's the only thing you can say.
Every single snap, he wins. Sturm, straight handoff to Clay. Got his breath, and he's got about 3 yards, but it'll be 3rd and a mile for UTSA as the clock stops, as another Roadrunner is down. Hard to see. Maybe Halen Stewart, the fullback. It is. Just way too many sightings of that today for both teams.
Boy, it really has. And, you know, it's every year in this sport, every team, it's attrition. And who's the squad that's the deepest? And, you know, we already talked about Rice and how young they are and how youthful they are. And having to play so many young guys, and, you know, that gets some guys hurt. It messes with your depth a lot. And UTSA is not exactly the most veteran squad either. But a lot of guys grow up within the program. But you know, we'll hope Stewart's okay there. That's not a good sign.
No, he's favoring that left leg, no weight on it. Our 10th injury timeout of the game. And I think it's probably about 7-3 UTSA.
Rice. It is their first.
Rice will burn a timeout, trying to get the ball back as UTSA looks to run out the clock. Roadrunners came up short a couple of opportunities, had to settle for field goals, but it really hasn't cost them because the defense has been so good. And quite frankly, because Rice has shot themselves in the foot a couple of times with big-time gains where you think they were going to score. At one point they did, and that touchdown was called back. And another time a first down inside the red zone was called back.
Yeah, and you've seen what's really happened in this game for Coach Bailiff is, you know, his depth has been messed with because of all these injuries, not only today, but in the weeks previous. And we talked about the brutal non-conference schedule that he had to play. But, you know, even earlier in the game when you're thinking, okay, they need to kick a field goal here, or at least try to come away with something. But even their kicker's been hurt. I mean, this has been a litany of things that have gone on this year. And you talked about Hurricane Harvey and how that's affected Rice too, and they had, you know, 11 or 12 players that lost everything.
Yeah, he said he's never coached a season like this. Start off in Australia and then have Hurricane Harvey.
Yeah, and then you come back from that and you spend another week in Fort Worth, and you couldn't say enough good things about what the TCU program did for his, letting him bunk and housing him for a week and letting him use their practice facilities and all that. But, just trying to take care of these kids' human needs and then get back to playing football. I mean, it's been a different year for sure.
3rd and 19, and Stewart gets close to picking it up. He's going to be about 4 yards short. That'll set up 4th and about 3 or 4. And I wonder if they'll let Sackett attempt a long one here. It'd be close to 50.
Timeout. Rice. It is their final timeout. It will be 30 seconds.
Be about 47. As long as 44. He's only missed once all season long, and that was in between the 40 and 49. So he's warming up. It looks like they're going to try him out there.
I think they're comfortable with him from 45 and in.
That's about right.
But he kicked one earlier this year that, I think on the 44-yarder, he kicked it halfway up the post. So we know he's got the leg. I mean, the only one he's missed this year was that long one that he attempted last week at North Texas just before the half. But you got to be careful here, too. I mean, obviously, kick a field goal and you're going to make this awfully hard on the Rice Owls. But I'll tell you what, the last thing you want to do is have something go wrong and get one blocked and have one going the other way, and then all of a sudden it's game on again. So
he's had one blocked this year.
You make sure.
9 for 10 coming in. Four for 5 from this distance, and it's a fake. Roots is going to throw it, and it's I don't know what was more comical, Roots' passing attempt or the near pickoff attempt by a defensive lineman. They both looked a little bit out of their comfort zone.
Well, they had it. The design was really good.
Just so underthrown.
And you can't blame Roots too, because the guy was barreling in on him and he just decided to launch it. But you don't see many defensive linemen.
Didn't quite set his feet.
He's a defensive lineman for a reason, but good adjustment to the ball. Just a tough ball to pick, no matter if you're a wide receiver or a defensive lineman. But
you know what that looked like? That looked like B-level intramural play. You know what I'm saying? The guy throwing it and the guy trying to catch it. I'm not making fun of him. I'm just saying that's what the rest of us look like.
I don't know. UTSA was lucky that wasn't picked in return, so at least they get their defense back out of the field here, up 20-7.
Straight drop for Smalls. Wants to go deep. Does. Has Cephas. Good coverage down there. Did Cephas take that away? No, it's intercepted. Clayton Johnson with his second pick of the day. He was torched for a touchdown early, but he makes up for it with his second pick.
Well, that's what they had last week. They had defenders in a position to make plays. They just didn't make them. Today, they did, and Johnson's going to get his second slam dunk attempt at the ball game. Bam! Check it out. They got the receiver blanketed with single coverage down there from Johnson. Then they had safety help over the top. And he just went up and ripped it.
High pointed it.
That's right.
Went up and jumped up and got it at his highest point. Cephas was there to grab it from him if he didn't. Great play by Clayton Johnson. What a great job. I mean, kid was benched on that series after he gave up the touchdown. He didn't get his head down, came back, made a big play on the interception in the first play of the third quarter. Here's Sturm. Stewart gets a block and Sturm slides down. Following the game, stay with us for the Homevestors post-game show by Homevestors. Need to sell your house quickly? Call Homevestors. We buy ugly houses. 1-800-44-BUYER.
That's a good thing Dalton Sturm did get a block there, because I'll tell you what, these guys are still playing whistle to whistle. And Christian Bertrand was about ready to deliver a shiver, I think, that Dalton wouldn't want to grab, but who was it? Kerry Thomas that helped pick him up there? Good job all the way around by the UTSA guys protecting their QB.
Here's Clay straight ahead. Clay, look at him fight off block tacklers. Terrell Clay just won't go down, and he becomes almost a defensive type player when he runs the football.
Well, you got to like guys that finish runs. And I know he's quickly becoming the every down back that UTSA would hope he'd be. You know, when you're a young player trying to get on the field, the first thing they want you to do as a running back is make sure you pick up your reads. You know, you don't want to get the quarterback smushed, you know, on these blitzes, and it's a big job for the running back to pick some of these things up, but Terrell Clay's given them everything that they receive and more.
UTSA close to putting this one away, and then they get a false start.
False start. Offense, number 80. 5-yard penalty remains. First down.
Rice is out of timeouts. If UTSA can snap it and run it like they have on that last play with Clay a couple of more times, they'll get their first win of the year in conference play. And they'll hand the Rice Owls their 5th straight loss. And they don't even need to do that. They're good enough with a couple of more knees.
Yeah, it's been a tough road, especially with all these injuries for Coach Bailiff, but you know, he's won big in a lot of years at Rice, taking them to bowl games, won bowl games. You know, there were times in this state where Rice might have been the best team in the state.
And
so
not to mention just an outstanding guy. Just one of those coaches that if you send your kid off to play somewhere, you want him to play for a guy like David Bailiff. He's going to look after your kid better, cares more about him as people than he does football players. Wins and losses, he wants to win like everybody else, but it's not the end of, it's not his life. Raising up young men is his life, and nobody does it better than David Bailiff.
Good ball game, man. 2 heavyweights slugging it out here today, and UTSA goes to 1-2 in Conference USA play.
Hey, when we come back, we'll have our post-game show. We'll have the highlights and all the statistics. Aaron Carino down on the sidelines. We'll interview Coach Frank Wilson. Stick around. We've got much more coming from the Alamo Dome. UTSA victors at home over the Rice Owls, 20-7.